Hey, Dan Cochimilio here with NorCal Sports Network with a video on the San Francisco Giants majority owner, Charles Johnson. And should he sell the team? I say he should. Let's get into it. But before we do, let us thank our sponsor. That would be Chapman Law Group. Check out Chapman Law Group in the description of this video. And like and subscribe this video if you would. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, before we get into this topic, let me tell you that Ned Coletti will be joining us live tonight, Monday night, January 6th at 7:45 right here on NorCal Sports Network. So you won't want to miss that. Ned Coletti, former Giants assistant general manager and LA Dodger general manager Ned Coletti tonight at 7:45 Pacific Standard Time. All right, guys, I'm wearing my freshly new, just arrived yesterday, New York Giants baseball cap when the Giants played in New York. So kind of enjoying this look. I love old nostalgia and hats, but San Francisco Giants owner, Greg Johnson, he owns about 26% of the team. He's the majority owner, but it didn't always start out that way. Back in 1992, when the Giants were being sold to an investor group in Tampa for $115 million, the owners rejected the deal and did not allow San Francisco to move to Tampa. And Bob Lurie, the Giants owner, was able to find an investor group led by the late, great Peter McGowan, who was a baseball lover, loved the old New York Giants and San Francisco Giants. And he led an investor group to purchase the team for $100 million. Yes, that's right, $15 million less than what the team was sold to the investor group in Tampa Bay. Now, what's interesting about this is that Greg Johnson, who owns 26% of the Giants, did not always have the big shares in the team. He originally was making just donations to the Giants, and Johnson, who got his big money from Franklin Templeton Investments, he is over like $1 trillion at this point, but at the time he was just looking to give money to the Giants. He grew up a New York Giants fan, and he only wanted a little bit of part of it, but what he ended up doing was recommending that the Giants reach out to another Franklin Templeton executive who was a rabid Giants fan, and that was Harmon Burns and his wife, Sue Burns. They would actually become the Giants' largest stakeholders at their peak, according to Hank Schulman of the San Francisco Chronicle, who had written an article a few years back, said that at their peak, the Burns owned 30 to 40% shares of the San Francisco Giants. And Charles Johnson, who's now 91 years old, I think almost 92, he invested as more shares became available. Most significantly, he was buying them from Harmon Burns when he got ill before his death in 2006, then more shares from Sue Burns upon her illness and death in 2009. So that's how Johnson became the majority owner of the Giants. Okay. So, but originally, Johnson was, again, he was just a very small owner in the group, but he also started buying more shares and holdings from Peter McGowan and then William Newcomb when they were replaced as managing general partners. And Johnson, his motivation was keeping the team local, the ownership group local. So Johnson now owns 26%, but he's not even involved. He now has moved to Florida. His son, Greg Johnson, is the managing general partner of the Giants, and he is the one who is pretty much calling the shots when it comes to how much money the Giants spend when it comes to their payroll. And Johnson is not much of a big Giants fan. He'll put the talk out there, but he's rarely seen at Oracle Park. It's Larry Baer who is kind of more out there, but he is not actually involved much in the operations of the team. He holds the purse strings, and this is why I am suggesting that he sell his 26% share. And if you look at the cover of this video, the thumbnail, so to speak, it has Joe Lacob, owner of the Golden State Warriors. Lacob, in fact, who is in partnership primarily with Peter Guber of the Warriors, doesn't own all of the Warriors, but most franchises are owned by groups because they're so expensive. The Giants are valued right now at approximately $3.8 billion. So if you took that out, that 26% share, somebody could buy Johnson out for about $1 billion. And I would love to see someone like a Joe Lacob who wants to win, who is competitive as all get out, to put this franchise back where they belong, and that is at near the top in spending in baseball. They are the fifth largest revenue team in all of Major League Baseball. So why not spend like the fifth largest team? The Giants are always right around 10 to 13 in spending when it comes to payroll, but they're the fifth largest. They're not going to be able to spend as much as the Dodgers. They don't get as much revenue as the Dodgers, but they can put as much of their revenue, the percentage of revenue, into the salaries that the Dodgers do. I'm just kind of getting tired of the Giants being like acting like a pauper when they're loaded. They're absolutely loaded, this franchise, and they've got so much growth ahead of them and gain net worth wise with the Mission Rock project and all the land that they own around the stadium. I just think it's time that people put pressure. Now, of course, nobody can force the Johnsons to sell. They own the majority of the team, so they're able to call the shots. But it would be nice if San Francisco Giants fans and public officials would start, and media would start putting pressure on the Johnsons to sell to somebody who actually wants to compete and spend money, what it's going to take to compete for titles, compete for the top players. You got if not the most beautiful ballpark in all of Major Leagues, it's top three. I mean, it is a beautiful ballpark. It's a beautiful piece of land. San Francisco is an iconic city. Look, they've been in New York, the Giants, and now San Francisco. They've been here since 1958. That's 67 years that the Giants are here in San Francisco. And think about it. They were leaving in 1992 to go to Tampa Bay. The deal was done. It was signed, but baseball rejected it. And they rejected it because San Francisco is iconic and they're affiliated with the Dodgers. They moved out from New York with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and now they're both here in California. It's synonymous. You can't break that apart. And this is an historic franchise that has 8 world championships, 5 in New York, 3 in San Francisco. And it's got the most victories of any franchise in regular season wins, even more so than the New York Yankees. It's time that baseball becomes about winning, putting the best product on the field. And to do that, I really believe the Giants could do much, much better if they had an owner who was the majority owner, who is dedicated and committed to winning and doing whatever it takes. And I believe that's a guy like Joe Lacob of the Golden State Warriors. He would love to own a franchise in every sport. He's a Bay Area guy now. He's rooted in San Francisco. Yes, he comes from Southern California, but he's here in the Bay Area. He's committed to the Warriors. The Giants are just right down the street, basically just a couple miles apart from each other. It would be wonderful to see Joe Lacob running the San Francisco Giants, because you know how he wants to win and he hates losing. And you would see his face at the ballpark. You would see Joe Lacob right there behind the Giants dugout every game, because that's what he's committed to. He loves his Golden State Warriors. You see him courtside all the time. Greg Johnson is like an absentee owner. Never at the ballpark. We never see him. Doesn't make any statements unless he makes a statement that it's about breaking even. We'd love to break even. Well, guess what, Greg? You're worth I don't know how much you're worth billions wise, but you manage $1 trillion with Franklin Templeton. The franchise you bought for $100 million, and it's worth $3.8 billion and growing. Why don't you cash out, Greg, and give San Francisco Giants fans what they deserve? Somebody who's committed to winning. All right? Let me know what your thoughts below. Tell me your comments in the comments section below here at YouTube. We do read all of your comments and try to respond to as many as possible. Don't forget, guys, tonight at 7:45 right here on NorCal Sports Network, 7:45 Pacific Standard Time, Ned Colletti, former Dodgers GM and Giants assistant GM, will join us live here, and you can ask him questions tonight right here on NorCal Sports Network. So we appreciate you watching. Thanks again. Let us know your comments below, and we'll catch you on the next video and tonight with Ned Colletti. Thanks so much.